Thank you, Tony. Thank you to all the businesses who have come out here today. Thank you to the Department of Economic and Community Development, Tony Carnes, and the Black Business Alliance, Frank Dixon, for their assistance in helping to put together and co-host this event. This has been a long time coming, too long, in fact. As a member of the state's Minority Business Council, I have always prioritized the creation of a minority business revolving fund and this type of assistance and this type of outreach to minority-owned businesses. From passing the legislation to getting the funding, I'm both extremely proud and glad to see it finally come to fruition. And I'm proud to have the first kickoff event be in my home city of Norwalk. There you go.
Hi.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
There you go. This is just the start, but what I feel will be very good for the program, and anticipated providing much needed assistance to the very businesses and entrepreneurs in our community and our state to foster their hard work, their passion, new ideas, and creativity. One thing as I find that most business owners have no trouble investing their time and effort, yet sometimes it's hard to find the financial backing, the resources and technical backing to get it off the ground. I'm hopeful that with this loan fund, this program, and many more like it, we can really start to give business assistance to those who need it. At the legislature, we're always looking for ways to improve the climate for small businesses. And as an example, some of the bills we passed this year that actually benefit you and benefit other small businesses are and angel investors to receive tax credits for investing in eligible businesses in any industry, not just technology. So it's not just limiting to those in technology, because many of you aren't involved in that business, but we're allowing investments to go there to help you. Requires the DECD Commission to establish and operate a hotline that provides guidance to entrepreneurs and small businesses on starting a business, identifying networking resources, and access technical and financial assistance. Hopefully some of you will take advantage of that today. I've already walked around the room and met some of your brand new businesses. This is a ripe time for you to be here and take a look at the opportunities that are available to you and the resources that we're able to provide. Require DCD and the Secretary of the State to promote the electronic business portal in order to allow businesses to complete the registration process more efficiently. In addition, we created a new workforce training authority to help businesses and workers have access to customized training programs that link to hiring services. These measures to provide more access to financing and capital for business and just simplifying the paperwork when registering or applying for assistance are crucial. I'm also looking forward to hearing from many of the businesses today on ways our state can be more helpful. In conclusion, I started a business in 1984, and there was a recession in the mid-'80s that wiped off a lot of minority businesses. There's been very little. We've just come through one of the greatest recessions of this country now. And I noticed as we came out of that last recession, there wasn't a lot to help minority businesses, small and women-owned businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of this country. They're the backbone of our economy. So coming out of this recession, I'm glad that we had a commerce chairman and other legislators, State Senator Duff, that was focusing on what do we do coming out of this that isn't just about the larger businesses that have already been established, continuing in business, but what do we do to make the real backbone of the community, and primarily urban communities, minority communities have been disenfranchised and not a part of business. What do we do to make this real for you? So I'm here to tell you today, this is real. You have the people here that have the ability. We put aside money, major bonding, so there can be some real money to help you with your businesses, real technical assistance, so that coming out of this recession, you can be a full partner in the economy that we hope will be thriving going forward. Thank you again, and thank you to DCD.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out, braving the weather. I'm drying off just about now. Representative Morris threw a lot at you in terms of what's been going on, and there is a reason for that. I used to, up until the beginning of this past year, I chaired the Commerce Committee for the last 4 years. And a couple of years ago, we were looking at the numbers for the Small Business Express program, and it was doing well among how shall we say, guys and ties. It was doing as a segment of the population, but I felt that it felt strongly that I felt that the women and minority-owned businesses population was not represented adequately. Barely at all, and I was pretty ticked off about it. I invited Catherine Smith down to discuss it, and she was aware of it and concerned about it as well. I mean, to her credit, she made sure that I saw those numbers as well. So there was nothing going on, like she wasn't trying to sweep anything under the rug. It was all very open. And fast forward, she brought me and Representative Morris into the fold to try to come up with ways to push this further, to make capital more accessible for small businesses, for minority-owned businesses, but also to add an element of training of making sure that if you're going in for a loan, if you're going in for assistance, that you have just some of the basics: a business plan, 3 years of tax returns, just a track record, so they can partner with you and move this ball forward. And Bruce took that and ran with it. And this is why, in the last year, the last session, we put some points on the board to make sure that women and minority-owned businesses have a seat at the table. And I think this is, I'm glad this kickoff is here because I think it's only fitting, and I think that because it's our welcome on. But also, we want to work with you to make sure that we are, you're in a way, we're learning from you and how this stuff rolls out. So we actually make the program better by working with you directly. So I thank everybody for coming, and thank you for Representative Morris for his leadership in this. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being out here today and for braving the weather and for joining us on what is really a great opportunity. How many of you today are looking to start a new business? Okay, got a few. How many of you are looking to expand your businesses? Now that's the picture right there of expanding your businesses here in the state of Connecticut. And that's why we have all the partners around the back of the room, and why Representative Morris and his staff did really a great job in putting this together. Seeing all of you here today interested and trying to learn how you can get support for expanding your businesses or starting new businesses as well. Bruce said it right when he said small businesses are really the backbone of our economy, and that is absolutely true here in the state and across our nation. And that's why we have worked so hard not only to support small businesses, but really to make those public-private partnerships together and put policies in place so that there are those mechanisms in which we can support our small businesses. You can hire, you can grow, and we can expand the tax base here in the state of Connecticut. That's all very, very important. Let me just share with you a few things. One is that while we have, you may have seen in the headlines, we've worked very hard over the last few years to keep Sikorsky and support Pratt & Whitney and support Electric Boat. Those are all very important companies, as well as many others that are out there. The reason I mention that is because for all of you, one of the things that is so important for those large businesses is the supply chain that goes with those businesses as well. Not only are there thousands of jobs that are important to those big companies, but there are also thousands of jobs that are important that support those companies as well in relation to small businesses. So whether or not you're part of that group, or whether or not you are looking to expand or grow a construction company, which I heard earlier, or some other type of business, the state of Connecticut wants to make sure that we are helping you in any way that we possibly can. We've had 84 months of continuous job growth, private sector job growth here in the state of Connecticut. We want to continue that as well. We want to make sure that this is the place where we can continue to grow jobs because we have the most educated, the best and most productive workforce and the best workers anywhere in the nation. So all those things are important, but you can't do that without events like this, where we all come together and making sure that we can answer questions, we're in partnership, and we can support you as well. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for growing our economy. Thank you for employing people in the state. Thanks for giving people a chance to be employed. And thanks for everything that you do to make the state of Connecticut as successful as it is. And that includes growing the jobs here as well. So thank you. Have a great weekend and learn a lot.
And so what I'd like to do is to say thank you to the mayor. And if you'd like to say welcome to the group here, that would be great.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you all for being here. My job is to welcome you to Norwalk City Hall, and it's a great day to be indoors. So you'll stay dry and you'll learn a lot. And I want to thank the DECD. I want to thank Representative Morris, Representative Perone, and Senator Duff for their hard work up in Hartford and for allowing these kinds of things to happen. And it is proper and fitting that we have this first meeting here in Norwalk. Norwalk is and has been a very business-friendly community. We've worked very closely with the Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, helping businesses thrive and flourish in our community. We want to provide you all the resources and information that you need, because sometimes the competitive nature of business makes it very difficult to navigate and find out where you can get the resources you need. So bringing everybody into the room here, giving you information that where you can find assistance for a business plan, where you can find assistance for loans, and those kinds of things, that's going to help you flourish, and that's very, very important to our community. So again, thank you all for being here. I hope this is going to be a very, very beneficial experience for all of you, and we look forward to working with you. The resources of my office are always available to you here in Norwalk. So if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out and contact us. Thank you.
Nice ballpark here.
Real nice.
What do you think? Let us play a couple games here?
Who we gonna play?
What's up, you guys lost? Just wondering, Hartford's bravest, brave enough to play HPD in here for a couple games?
You know that's not the world's biggest Dunkin' Donut.
You know there's no lost kittens in there either, right? We don't want to be here all day. You guys are short staffed, you got to fill shifts.
Ain't no rules.
Calm down, guys, calm down. Despacito. Let's play for Julito and let the best team win September 23rd.
Get your popcorn.
Yo, I went all the way up to the 12th grade, you know, and I was skipping school. I was selling. I was out there doing bad things because I thought I could just get the fast way. My aunt knew. She came busting at me, came hitting, knocking me upside the head, telling me, you know, to stay in school because they told her, they called in, parents, you know, you got to keep on top of your kids because at the end of the day, they got to stay in school for the future, for y'all and your family to grow. Stay in school, it's a big deal.
This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News. We're here in Norwalk with the BBA. The Alliance is here and participating in a business loan, revolving loan fund program for minority businesses here in Connecticut. And we have the president of the BBA. Tell us why the BBA is so important. And I want you to explain what the acronym BBA is for the people here in our community.
Thank you guys a lot for talking to us. This is a very important event. The BBA is the Black Business Alliance. We're a 501c6 membership organization, mission to provide the key technical assistance, education, business education, focused on community engagement and the economic development of Black and minority business around the state. We have partnered with the Department of Economic and Community Development to provide some grassroots initiatives to educate and train your Black and minority business on how to get access to funding via the state of Connecticut. So we're excited about doing that. Anyone want to learn more about what we are and what we're doing at the Black Business Alliance, especially with access to capital, you can visit us at www.bbusinessalliance.org. And hey, we're accepting membership all the time, and we're excited about it. We have 3 offices, one in Norwalk, main office in New Haven, and in Hartford, Connecticut.
Mr. Dixon, can you give us the addresses of those locations for the BBA, if you will, please?
Sure. Here in Norwalk, we're at 40 Richards Avenue, 3rd floor. In New Haven, we're at 419 Whaley Avenue, Suite 202. And in Hartford, we're at 151 New Park Avenue.
Fantastic. Now, the amount of funding that's available through this initiative, what are we looking at for small businesses, and is anything time sensitive?
So for this initiative, it's the small business loan, right, up to $100,000.
Okay.
But as we talk about that loan and we do your intake and do your application review and look at if you need access to business planning, financial, fiscal, education, things of that nature, we move you on in the next stage to our partners, SAMA, Spanish American Merchant Association, and HEDCO, and then they can talk to you about access to greater capital or resources.
Fantastic.
So, right.
I know we should all be excited about what's happening here in our community. The BBA has taken the lead, and we know that it's going to be successful because of the energy and the effort that's being put into it. It is a tremendous turnout here in Norwalk. Give us some parting words, if you will. What do you think is going to happen next? What are you gearing up for?
So from a Black Business Alliance perspective as a whole, we are, growing exponentially. We have over 100 members of businesses, professionals, students, people who are interested in understanding and being able to grow and help people invest in themselves and shop within an ecosystem to get that financial independence through your business, right? From a grant perspective, we are excited about all of our workshops around the state. We're going to be doing workshops for business development, access to capital, QuickBooks, estimating bidding, and a myriad of workshops to educate and train businesses, right? So we're excited with the Black Business Alliance. We're fairly new, 4 years old, and we are growing. And we're expanding our partnerships in the municipalities, foundations, and other nonprofits around the state and nationally.
We're here at an initiative here in Norwalk, a small business initiative geared toward helping small and minority businesses in our community. And we have one of those people from the Black Business Alliance who's going to be working hand in hand with those people who are interested in utilizing the funds that are being made available for black businesses. Tell us your name and the role that you play with the Black Business Alliance.
My name is Ghislaine Menifee, and for this specific program, the MBRLF program, the Minority Business Revolving Loan Fund, I will be the project lead, the first point of contact that I will be engaging with these businesses that will be looking to get access to capital through this program.
That is fantastic. You must be really excited.
I am.
I can tell. Now, what's the next steps for people who want to get in contact with you to talk to you specifically about what their needs are in their businesses?
Sure. So maybe I can just help answer that question a little bit with some color on the process. BBA is going to be that front lines for all those that are looking to get some access to capital through this program. So what folks are going to need to do, come to the BBA site, go to DECD, and each of the related partners will have some link into the BBA as that first point of contact. And what folks are going to get to do is see us out across the state. We're going to host workshops that are going to help folks not only with understanding how to get through this program, but how to help their business. BBA is a nonprofit organization that looks to build the minority business population within the state of Connecticut, and we do so with workshop, professional development, technical assistance, and other things that add to the success and that foundation of building a strong company for all of our small business owners across the state. So next month, for instance, we're going to be back here in Norwalk.
Wow.
And we're going to, our first workshop is going to be reflective of exactly what we're doing, and it's going to be focused on access to capital. So folks, we want you to come here to Norwalk. We're going to be advertising and marketing our event and the location for it in a couple of days. Please go to the BBA site, or you can go to DECD, where we're also going to be showcasing the events and locations of all of these workshops. But BBA is going to go out to the state month to month. We're going to be hosting these types of workshops: business planning, QuickBooks, supplier diversity, all those things that talk to how do I understand the resources at my disposal through the state of Connecticut, or just through our other professional communities that are going to help these small businesses, these minority business professionals, be successful. We're going to market them, we're going to put these workshops on, and we want folks to be aware of everything that's out there that can help them be successful.
That is wonderful.
Yep.
You can see she's prepared. Thank you so much for giving us your time. This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News. Remember, the BBA is there for you.
Let's face it, there's a lot you don't know about sickle cell disease.
Like that it affects almost all races.
Like that it affects millions.
That it can be unbearable.
That it's the most common genetic blood disease in the country.
But awareness and understanding are still far too uncommon.
Let's face it, there's a lot you don't know about sickle cell disease.
And that's a disease too.
Call the 211 info line to learn more.
Russell Williams reporting for W4 News here at accesstv.org. We're standing here with Fernando Rosa, the guy who runs HEDCO, the Hartford Economic Development Corporation, who is part of this initiative to get more loans and to get more viability into small and minority businesses within the community. This is a very exciting event, and you look like you're eager to share with our listeners why this is so important to you and why it's so important to the community.
Well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to talk to all of you viewers. It's really important as we bring another tool into our financial box for the minority business throughout the state of Connecticut. HEDCO has been around since 1975. It has created a number of loan programs to revitalize business and create jobs. This is another opportunity, $5 million that are now available to provide loans in the entire state, not for any specific region, but for the entire state, and specifically for women and minority-owned business.
Well, we're excited that HEDCO continues to kind of lead the way. You've been a stalwart when it comes to helping small businesses and running small and managing small business programs in the state. What makes this one a little different, and why are you, more excited now than you've been in the past about other initiatives?
Well, thank you for your kind words. I was excited about the other ones. This one gives me a different perspective to the point that it's a revolving loan fund. It is not a one-shot deal. HEDCOs receive a lot of grants, and many of them are one-shot deal. And that simply means that once you pay your loan, I repay it back to the source. This gives me the ability to be able to manage the money by lending the money that it's paid back. Also, it gives me the ability to, along with my staff, to work in the entire state of Connecticut, whether from the little towns to the largest cities, anywhere that there's a small business, minority-owned business, women-owned business, we could apply it. But the ability to revolve the money is the key ability to sustain HEDCO's financial support to the small business.
Keep up the good work, Fernando. This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's face it, there's a lot you don't know about sickle cell disease.
That it's not contagious.
It's hereditary.
That it can be unbearable.
That you could have the gene that passes it on to your children,
but not even know it.
And that there's a simple test so you can know it. Let's face it, there's a lot you don't know about sickle cell disease.
and that's a disease too.
Call the 211 info line to learn more.
This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News. We're here with State Representative Bruce Morris, who is a stalwart in our community, who continues to work tirelessly to bring things to our small businesses to try and help them become more viable. this initiative is one that we should all take particular note of, Representative Morris, and you want to tell us why?
Okay, so we've got a lot of laws been on the books forever that allow for minority businesses to be able to be contracted with anytime you got state dollars. However, when you actually take a look at the statistics and take a look at their real returns, very few minority businesses end up getting contracts. And there's a number of reasons, but one of the large hurdles for our businesses is we don't have the money.
Right.
We don't have the capital
Right.
for projects, and people take a look at your financials and say you can't do the work. So you take a look at the recession that we just recently came out of. And before we went into that, you look at the minority communities, all the social services are being spent on us. Why? There is no economic equity in the state of Connecticut. Right? We are not a part of the business puzzle. So it is important that we get rid of the hurdles. So it doesn't matter that you've got the laws that say, hey, a municipality, whatever, you're supposed to give so many dollars to those businesses, but the businesses don't have the capital to be able to employ workers.
Right.
They don't have the capital to be able to buy inventory and things like that. So this is a big kickoff. I mean, we've had the Small Business Express program. It's done great things in the state for other businesses, but now we're able to focus primarily now on minority and women-owned businesses.
I guess my issue has always been compliance. You always hear about these programs and you hear about these initiatives, but who's making certain that the state actually is doing what it said it would do, and that the monies that are being used to do those kinds of things is actually being utilized effectively and actually giving you the kinds of results that you hope for?
Good. So, well, that's why it's great that you've got the Minority Business Council that, part of the legislation we put together. We've got a group that we now work with DECD.
Oh.
We partner with DECD. You got Senator McCauley, you got myself, Howard, funeral director. Howard Hill.
Yeah.
A number of us, we're sitting at the table, with funders, with the organizations that historically are supposed to be there to provide the technical assistance and things for our businesses, but money still wasn't getting to the ground.
Right.
So our focus was, listen, we have now made certain that we put aside $25 million that was bonded for the state to do it, but we are now monitoring with DCD. So listen, we want to know, quarterly, whatever, what's happening, how many minority businesses are actually receiving money? What are those hurdles? What are the obstacles? Because if bonding was an obstacle, we did legislation to help get rid of that as an obstacle. So again, we think this is really the last one, and particularly because we're going to sit there all the time with DCD and with SAMA, with HEDCO to say, okay, how much money did you actually lend?
Give us some of the benchmarks, if you will, or have they been established for the utilization of this fund and for some kind of results that are anticipated with this program?
Well, the expectation is that with this first round of funding, anywhere between 60 to 90 loans will be given throughout the state of Connecticut to minority-owned businesses.
Okay.
So we're going to look for that. We're going to look at that.
Okay.
We're going to look at if businesses are not giving lending, what was the reason?
Okay.
What was the criteria? Because we know that we still have to be responsible lenders.
Sure.
But our businesses are not going to come in with the bankability of others.
Right.
But you know what? If you've got receivables that you can put up as collateral because you don't have the money,
right,
then that works. This is about being creative in lending, not. You see, that's been the challenge when it comes to all of the minority contracting laws that was there. You've always had this piece about good faith efforts.
Right.
All right. And they were able to knock us out of the door because they said, well, we advertised and they didn't come. No. You don't just tell me you advertise. I want to see some real advertisement. And particularly, we've put money together now as part of this with the Black Business Association, BBB, so that they're going to do some of the outreach within our communities to identify those black-owned businesses, those minority-owned businesses, to help make the connections with them and the contractors. We're going to make certain that when we got rid of one of the proudest moments we had was in last session. We got rid of the minority business, the exemption. The state was giving all this money to the cities, but the cities were not required to be part of the small business set-aside program. We got rid of that. So cities, now you've got to do that. We gave money to CHRO to make sure that they can monitor it.
There you go.
All right? Because, the cities weren't going to do it on their own, but CHRO, we gave them some muscle, the ability. They're the ones you go through. So, and from my view, I think the future is bright. It's just a matter of getting all of our minority businesses to the table, to understand, not being fearful, and recognizing between Headco and Sam and others, they'll hold your hands and help you get there.
Well, it shows that your time and experience in dealing with this issue, that this is a very comprehensive program that I think should make all the difference in the world. This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News. We're excited about this initiative, especially what Bruce Morris continues to do.
It's about
for us in our community.
It's about economic equity, folks. The reality is we cannot come out of this recession with the black and brown communities not having some millionaires created. People who are more likely to hire other people of color. The reality is, when we take a look at the state budget and all the problems that are happening, we cannot continue as a state to be a state that just gives money to social services that do not empower people. So this is about empowerment. So I'm asking black folks, whether you've just got a dream for a business, please reach out, talk to Sam. Whatever your dream is,
right.
You know what? Don't let this be a hopeful, don't let it become a nightmare. This is an opportunity. Please reach out because it's there. We're gonna help you make it. It's good for the state of Connecticut.
Well said. Thank you, Representative Mark. Keep doing what you do.
Oh yeah.
Russell Williams reporting for W4 News.
Let's face it, there's a lot you don't know about sickle cell disease.
Like that it affects millions.
People in almost all races.
Black and white.
Indian and Asian.
Hispanic and Mediterranean.
And that it can affect you or someone you love.
No matter where you come from.
Let's face it, there's a lot you don't know about sickle cell disease. And that's a disease too.
Call the 211 info line to learn more.
This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News on accesstv.org. We're here in Norwalk at an event that we believe will be the eclipse of things to happen in the black community. Small business will be able to utilize up to $25 million in state funding to help to increase the success and the viability of small businesses that serve our community. And we're here with one of the event's organizers, one of the event's sponsors, and quite frankly, one of the stalwarts in our community who continues to lead by example. Howard K. Hill, thank you so much for what you do in our community. Thank you. What do you think now that we've got this initiative underway? What are the next steps? How do you feel about what's taking place here today?
I feel pretty good about what's taking place today. There's a much longer way that we must go, not only as the state of Connecticut and how they distribute the resources to help communities like ours, but probably more important, our community has to get its act together.
Sure.
And I think that a lot of times there's a misunderstanding between advocacy and once you advocate, accountability.
Sure.
And we need to work that out within the community. We also need to understand the power of group economics. Group economics is a phenomenon that frankly, all communities use.
Sure.
Most notably would be the Jewish community, how they bounce their money within their community to help to grow their community.
Sure.
White folks do it all the
Sure.
time. The Latinos, everyone does it. The Cubans, the West Indians, everyone do the same thing. The African American community is probably one of the only communities that I can think of that does not embrace that concept. And here, as a result of not embracing that concept, our community deteriorates on a daily basis and never gets an opportunity to really and truly grow as a community. We have a bunch of successful people in our community who typically will make it out, but it leaves the community, the group, those folks who are left, they are there to suffer and deal with the systemic oppression that they're under on a daily basis. So as far as I'm concerned, our next steps, which starts from the pulpit, it goes to the legislators, black folks now, legislators, business leaders, professionals, to the younger generation, to the education system. We have to work on a collective plan to practice this phenomenon that we call group economics.
This is exciting, Howard, and it sounds to me like there's a lot that went into making certain that these kinds of things would be made available to our community. You should be congratulated for your stick-to-itiveness. I guess what I'm wondering now is how far will this $25 million go, and whether or not this is just sort of a one-time thing, and whether something's planned to follow up with this whole initiative or not. How far does the planning go?
Well, I believe the planning is it's a 5-year plan at this point.
Okay.
The reality is this here. The reality is if there is a need, then our legislators, our advocates have something to advocate for. So as a community of people, we'll even call it the minority community, as a community of people, our goal at this point is really to create the need.
Okay.
So, and you do that by creating your businesses, making them extremely strong, and expanding your business and opening up more businesses. It forces the legislator to say, hey, we have something that's actually working here. We've invested $25 million and it's working, and we need to invest more. It gives our legislators something to fight about, something substantive to fight about. So I think that the $25 million in my optimistic mind, I think the $25 million will triple, quadruple.
Okay.
That's me being optimistic.
Sure.
Because our community will get its act together.
Okay. Well, that is, I think, very optimistic, and I think that you're probably on to something, considering that we're at a time now when it makes more sense than ever to work collectively to get things done.
Yes.
So is
Absolutely.
part of the hope now that the working collectively will help us to overcome those issues that we've had to deal with in the past?
Absolutely. It is the absolute only way in my mind that we're actually going to create opportunities for all. Individually, you can do it, and I know I can do it. Okay? Anyone can do it.
Sure.
Individual.
Sure.
Even if you want to just take care of your family or just your crew,
right,
or just your organization,
right,
you can do that. But collectively, as a people, that's where we need to start to focus on our collective issues and see what we can do on an individual basis to add value to the movement of collective movement versus individual movement.
Group economics, according to Howard K. Hill, who's seen a lot, has done a lot, and continues to engage in an effort to make our communities better. This is Russell Williams reporting for W4 News. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
All right.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I do business as Light Source Productions. I provide professional services in the area of strategic video communications. First, what we do is we help you craft your message using what I call the rule of the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. We do event documentation, content acquisition, full-scale productions, editing, and of course distribution through our social media television network. And with social media, video is more important now than it has ever been. Whether you're talking big business, small business, nonprofit, church, or just an individual. Let's say you're planning an event, a wedding, whatever the case may be. But let's say a big event, but no video. You spent all this time, all these hours to put this event on, and maybe 100, 200 people attend the event. But more important than that is that thousands could attend by watching it on social media. But of course, you don't think about this until after the event is over. You can't afford not to capture it for social media. And despite what people think, I am affordable. Give me a call. Let's plan your next video project and share it with the world on my social media television network. I promise you that you will have the attention of one person, me.